Join me as we drift through tonight's gentle bedtime story. Sweet Pea and the Autumn Sprite Rose. This story is about Sweet Pea, a young girl, and her adventure with an autumn sprite named Rose as they work together to restore the beauty of autumn to their forest heritage. Beneath the cascading leaves of a grand ancient maple, in a small village named Ethereal Whisper, lived a kind young girl named Sweet Pea. She was known for her dazzling smile, and the warmth she shared with everyone she met. One breezy autumn evening, while exploring the woods, Sweet Pea stumbled upon a tiny, sparkling creature perched on a mushroom. The delicate figure had wings dappled in hues of sunset and gold. At first, Sweet Pea thought her eyes were playing tricks on her, but the creature spoke with a voice like chiming bells. "Hello, I am Rose, the autumn sprite." Sweet Pea's eyes widened, marveling at Rosie's beauty. "I've heard stories about autumn sprites. They tend to the colors of the leaves and help the forest prepare for winter," she exclaimed. Rose fluttered her wings happily. "Yes, and this year has been challenging. With the changing climate, the trees are confused. Could you help me restore the beauty of our heritage?" Sweet Pea's heart leapt. She loved nature and eagerly agreed to assist. The two new friends set off on their mission. They trekked through the glades, painting the leaves with the brilliance of autumn using Rose's magical wand. Each stroke was met with laughter and joy, as the forest transformed into a mosaic of reds, oranges, and yellows. As they worked, Rose told Sweet Pea stories of her ancestors. She spoke of sprites who danced in the moonlight and sang songs that made the stars twinkle brighter. Rose showed Sweet Pea a hidden glen where her family had planted a tree for every kind deed done by the villagers. "This is our heritage," Rose explained, pointing to the blossoming grove. Sweet Pea felt a profound connection, understanding that her own actions were intertwined with the legacy of the forest. As the final touches of amber and crimson were added, the forest glowed. Rose gifted Sweet Pea a small acorn pendant. "This will remind you of our friendship and the magic we shared," she whispered. They parted ways, but Sweet Pea's heart was forever intertwined with the essence of autumn, a heritage she promised to cherish and protect. Returning to Ethereal Whisper, she brought back not just tales of wonder but a renewed sense of responsibility for preserving the beauty and balance of nature. And as the leaves continued to fall, painting the village in rich hues, Sweet Pea knew that she and Rose had woven their own story into the ever-evolving tapestry of the forest's legacy. Another story awaits to bring you rest. The Peaceful Garden of Primrose and Tulip Renee. This story is about the friendship between Primrose and a mouse named Tiara and how they create a peaceful haven together. Primrose lived in a cozy little cottage nestled at the edge of a vast, enchanting forest. Her days were filled with gardening, knitting, and reading adventurous tales by the fireside. One sunny morning, while tending to her vibrant flower beds, she noticed something peculiar. A tiny mouse, no bigger than her thumb, peeked timidly from behind a rose bush. "Hello there," Primrose greeted gently. "Who might you be?" The little mouse, with fur like silvery gray velvet, stepped forward hesitantly. "I am Tiara," she squeaked. "I have come to find peace and safety." Primrose's heart softened at the mouse-eyes influence. "Welcome to stay here," she offered. "This garden is a sanctuary for all creatures." Tiara's eyes sparkled with relief and gratitude. Days turned into weeks, and Primrose and Tiara quickly formed a loving bond. They spent their days together in the garden, sharing stories and enjoying the beauty of their surroundings. Tiara was especially fond of the roses, which she said reminded her of her home far away. Every evening, they would sit by the fire, Primrose with her knitting, and Chilla nibbling on crumbs of cheese and bread. Their conversations were filled with laughter and the warmth of true friendship. One day, as they wandered deeper into the forest, they discovered an old, abandoned gazebo covered in ivy and wildflowers. "Let's restore this place," Primrose suggested, her eyes twinkling with excitement. Fella nodded enthusiastically, picturing the gazebo as a perfect place for peaceful gatherings. With hard work and cooperation, they cleaned, painted, and decorated the gazebo. It became a beautiful haven, attracting birds, butterflies, and other woodland creatures. The gazebo turned into a gathering spot where all beings, big and small, could meet, share stories, and live in harmony. Under the moonlit sky, Primrose and Tara often reflected on their journey and the peace they had found together. The true peace is found in the care we give to others and the beauty we create, Primrose said softly. Fella squeaked her agreement, feeling at home for the first time in her life. They fell asleep that night with hearts full of contentment, surrounded by the serene symphony of the forest. And so, in their little corner of the world, Primrose and Tiala's garden remained a symbol of peace, love, and friendship, a testament to the magic of kindness. Let's drift further into peace with the next story. The Surprising Adventures of Borage and Bellflower. This story is about a human named Borage and a firefly named Bellflower, who embark on a journey filled with surprises to regain Bellflower's light. Borage lived in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and flowering meadows, where every morning smelled like lavender and honey. He was known for his curious spirit and infectious laughter, traits that endeared him to every villager. One starlit night, while wandering near the edge of the forest, Borage heard a faint, glowing hum. He followed the sound until he met Bellflower, a delicate firefly with gleaming wings. Bellflower was in distress. Her light had grown dim. Borage, with his heart full of kindness, offered to help. He learned that Bellflower needed the glow of the rare moon blossom to regain her light. Armed with a map from the village elder, they embarked on a journey with hidden paths and secret treasures. Along their way, they encountered an enchanted stream that needed a riddle solved to cross and a mischievous squirrel who guarded a key they needed. In determination and teamwork, they braved each obstacle. Late one evening, they were rewarded when they discovered a field of the radiant moon blossoms under a silver moon. Bellflower's light shone brilliantly upon absorbing the blossom's energy. In a heartfelt gesture, she bestowed a tiny spark on Borage. The spark grew into a glowing charm that would guide him in times of darkness. They returned to the village to a hero's welcome. Lullabies and Bellflower's adventurous tale became a beloved legend, and they remained lifelong friends, always ready to face whatever surprises life had in store. Another gentle journey awaits. Lotus and the Mischievous Pixie, a tale of heritage. His story is about a young girl named Lotus who learns the true meaning of heritage with the help of a mischievous pixie named Tiala. In a small village nestled between emerald hills and sapphire lakes lived a young girl named Lotus. Lotus had hair as black as the night sky and eyes that mirrored the deep blue of the ocean. Her village was ancient, rich with traditions and tales passed down for generations. Though Lotus was only 12, she had a curiosity that often led to the edge of the village, where the forest whispered secrets to those who would listen. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Lotus followed a shimmering trail of light into the forest. The trail led her to an ancient oak tree, its gnarls twisting like the hands of time. As she approached, she was startled by a small, fluttering figure, a pixie named Tiala. Teala was no ordinary pixie. She had wings encrusted with tiny gemstones and a laugh that tinkled like wind chimes. She was known in the forest for her playful mischief. "What brings you here, little one?" Teala asked with a mischievous glint in her eye. Lotus, though cautious, felt an inexplicable trust toward the pixie. "I've come to learn about my heritage," she replied. Teala's eyes sparkled with interest. "Heritage, you say? Follow me." The pixie led Lotus through the forest, guiding her to places she had never seen. They arrived at a hidden glade, where ancient stones formed a circle around a crystal-clear pond. Teala explained that this place was sacred, a center of the village's history and magic. With a wave of her tiny hand, Teala summoned visions of the past. Lotus watched in awe scenes of her ancestors unfolded in the water collaborations, struggles, and the binding strength of family. She saw her great-grandmother weaving intricate tapestries, her grandmother cooking feasts that brought the village together, and her mother teaching the children the songs of their people. As the visions faded, Teala turned to Lotus. "Your heritage is a tapestry woven with the threads of every generation that came before you. It is your duty to keep those threads strong." Lotus felt a warmth in her heart, understanding now that she was a part of something much larger than herself. "Thank you, Teala," she said, tears of gratitude in her eyes. Teala's laugh tinkled once more. "Remember, little one, even the tiniest pixie or human can have a great heart." With that, the mischievous pixie fluttered away, leaving Lotus to make her way back to the village. As she walked home, Lotus knew she would carry the lessons of that night with her forever. She vowed to honor her heritage and to become a link in the chain that her ancestors had forged. And so, Lotus grew up to be a wise and kind woman, forever grateful for the magical night when a mischievous pixie named Teala showed her the true meaning of heritage. Good night, and may your heart feel light and calm.